All right, guys and gals, we have got two things on tap for tonight. We're going to bust a case of TriStar autograph football jerseys, the Game Day Great ones. This particular case happens to be from 2019. It's the 2019 Series 2. I thought we were out of it, but I found a little bit more, so we're going to take care of that tonight. Following that, we're going to do Donruss Baseball by the half case, and it is the last of the Donruss Baseball. Do have a little bit of information to go over before we actually get started ripping. So let's talk about that for a minute. So first up, my feedback. I have that automated on eBay, and I do that so that you don't ever have to wait on me. Anytime that you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return. So yay to that, right? And of course, the second thing there, far more importantly, is to say thank you. I always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me. Well, if I can get us on the next page. There we go, finally, right? This is what it looks like in the days ahead. So the next couple of nights, we're off trying to conserve our resources until we get some new releases. So no breaking on Saturday or Sunday, but we'll be back at it on Monday night with a pair of autographed Leaf Multisport jerseys. Those are the last of the Multisport jerseys that I have, as far as I know. Spots are sold by the first letter of the last name on the jersey, and everything is listed in the football category. We're also going to break Inception Baseball by the full case, and I think that also is the last of Inception. On Tuesday night, we're going to open a new product, Gold Rush Autograph Full-Size Football Helmets, new for 2020. So we'll dig into one of those, and we'll start a new case of Gypsy Queen Baseball and break half the case. Then on Wednesday, we're going to open a lot of memorabilia. A Leaf Autograph Baseball bat, which we haven't opened in a while. Some TriStar TriStar, let's try that again. Game Changers Autograph Baseballs. And finally, a case of Game Day Greats Autograph Football jerseys, but those will be the 2020 ones. Tonight, of course, we're opening the 2019 ones. Here's what you need to know about our breaks tonight. So we have two different breaks. The football jerseys will be first because obviously that's the fastest break. Donruss Baseball will be second. If you are in the football jersey break, if you are lucky enough to hit one of the jerseys, you can expect it to be out the door and on the way to you sometime within the next 7 days. So it could go on the front end of that, somewhere in the middle, but it definitely wouldn't go any later than a week from today. Free shipping stuff, I do the same way every time. It just means within a 7-day window. Now, if you are not lucky enough to hit one of the jerseys in that break, you are still entitled to a consolation card that is simply a single-use trading card for your team. It can be from any year in any series, and I keep track of it for a rolling 90-day period. Now, normally on the free shipping breaks, I would just hang on to that consolation card and send it out the next time you have a package shipping, well, just because it is a free shipping break. But if you want it sent sooner, you only need to send me a message on eBay and let me know, and I will take care of that for you. Now, our paid shipping break tonight, that is our Donruss Baseball. That should be out the door and on the way to you no later than Wednesday. Now, it may well go sooner than that, but I don't anticipate that it would be later than that unless something incredibly unexpected occurs. And we don't have to worry about consolation cards there because everybody is going to get cards. There's a ton of cards in that break. A lot of them. So first up tonight, our 5-box case of 2019 Series 2 autographed football jerseys. They are the Game Day Great jerseys, of course. This is a full case break. It is break number 19. And that ended tonight on eBay the same night we are breaking it live, which is Friday night, the 17th of April. Your team names are there on the left-hand side. The winning bidder user ID is across from each team there on the opposite side. And, of course, a new spreadsheet will go up when we do Donruss Baseball. So if you're here for that, don't wander too far off. Jerseys generally are only going to take us, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. Not very long anyway. So if you're in Donruss, don't go too far is the moral of the story. And the last little piece of business here before we can start ripping is I'm changing up the focus. And your background got blurry. That's intentional don't sweat that. We're going to be able to see everything we need to see. All right, so who have we got in here tonight? Bump Dog 02 is here, Felix is here, and Jay Allen and Emery HVAC. So we got lots of people in chat on this Friday night. So first things first, we got to get these jerseys out of here. Well, I thought I had all that tape cut. I guess I did not. So we've got 5 of them coming. I'm just going to get all 5 of them out right at this moment, and then we'll do them, of course. I'll set 4 of them off out of the way so we can see it real well as we go along. But there's our 5 to get things started with 2019 Series 2, which I couldn't even believe I found. I thought we were out, but we weren't. And Bernie's here for the Steelers and the Seahawks. You know, the Steelers usually do pretty well when we do cases of memorabilia, you know, jerseys and things. So we'll see how we do tonight. But, you know, they're my team, so I always like to see good Steelers come out. First one we see happens to be DeMarcus Lawrence. So the Dallas Cowboys are in business right off the bat with the DeMarcus Lawrence. And where's his autograph? We've got that little card in the way there. And our jersey's kind of bent up too. But anyway, you can see it. There's the autograph. And there is your TriStar hologram authentication down there at the bottom. And that TriStar paperwork or paper COA is generic. It's the same for every single TriStar item that they have. They put in that little generic piece of paper. They just folded it funky. I think it doesn't fit quite in the bag right. But anyway, so the first one out is DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys. I'm going to get that sealed back up since I put that other piece of paper in there. We got to keep it all together anyway. And what I just looked over here, and what in the world is going on with my YouTube is acting so weird. It just suddenly started playing a commercial. What in the world? I don't know. And it looks like we've got, is it Robel? Am I saying that right? I'm probably not. Robel, something like that. One of those maybe. Anyway, hi. Sorry I butchered your name. Miami Dolphins have our second jersey out, and that is Bob Greasy. And there, of course, you can see his autograph quite well on there. Same generic TriStar paper and a TriStar hologram sticker. That sticker is the important part. If you lose any of the paper COAs on autographed memorabilia, it never matters. But if the sticker were not on the autographed memorabilia, that would definitely matter. Then you'd have to pay to have it re-authenticated. So the sticker is the important part there. All right, so at the moment we are Cowboys and Dolphins. Let's see what box number 3 here brings us. Oh, it is bright orange. And it is headed to the Cleveland Browns, Mr. Nick Chubb for Cleveland. So there's your autograph, your TriStar hologram authentication sticker, your TriStar generic paperwork, and of course the name on the back there for Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns. We've got 2 to go. Browns, Dolphins, Cowboys are out so far. You guys are probably like, why do you keep saying that? Well, A, because people jump in and out, and they'll always ask as soon as they come in, like, what's already been pulled. And B, if I don't say it over and over right now, there's no chance I will remember it later. So, you know, just trying to cover all the bases here. Seeing what we can get to stick. Here's a nice one for the Green Bay Packers. You have got a Paul Hornung autographed jersey for Green Bay. All these are all jumbled up and folded weird tonight for some reason. Anyway, there is your Paul Hornung autograph down here at the bottom. This one is JSA certified, so there's your sticker. And on the back side, we've got some JSA paperwork to go with your sticker, except we are going to flip it back around and put it all on the front side. Yeah, I just think that's easier. So we are now Packers, Browns, Dolphins, Cowboys. Packer, Brown, Dolphin, Cowboy. Now, hang on a minute. Paul Horning here doesn't want to close back up. There we go. Last one. Let's see who we've got. Wouldn't it be cool if it was like Tom Brady or something? Well, it'd always be cool if it was a big, expensive one, but especially since this is the last box and the last of the 2019s we have and all that. But look who it is. It is a Steeler, and an excellent Steeler at that. Hines Ward comes out for Pittsburgh, baby. You know I love my Hines Ward. You know I do. All right, so there is your Hines Ward signature. You've got a JSA authentication sticker, and in the back side there's our JSA paperwork, and it is not generic. The JSA paperwork is specific to the item. It's only the TriStar ones that are completely generic. So, all right, let's let me get this one sealed up. Did I get it? I think I did. All right, so let's recap it real quickly. We have got the Hines Ward jersey here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A nice Paul Horning came out for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know why they're all folded weird in this whole case. It's like somebody came to work drunk that day or something. I don't know. Nick Chubb out for the Cleveland Browns. And for the Miami Dolphins, it is Bob Greasy. Got lots. We find him a lot in helmets and jerseys and all kinds of stuff. And then the boys, the Dallas Cowboys, get themselves a DeMarcus Lawrence autograph for Dallas. All right, so there you go. That is the jersey break. I'm going to get these stashed safely away. I will be back with you in one moment, and we'll head into Donruss. Let's get some Donruss on the table. I don't even remember when we broke the first half of this. It's been a while, though. It's been probably at least, I don't know, a couple of weeks, right? I think it's been a bit. All right. I'm going to let you look at that for a second while I go check and see if our little orphan team got paid or not. See if we've got one available or if we're all paid up. Oh, yay, we're all paid up now. Woohoo! Thank you, everybody. That makes life easier. So, yeah, we went over this a minute ago. But in case somebody wasn't tuned in, then here's the 411. The jerseys are free shipping breaks. They'll go out sometime within the next 7 days if you hit one. If you didn't hit one, consolation card is yours. But normally, I wait and send it with your next package on the free shipping breaks. But if you want it sooner, send me a message via eBay, and I will take care of it for you. Paid shipping break tonight is Donruss Baseball. Should be out the door and on the way to you approximately Wednesday. That is always plus or minus a day, so it could go sooner, and it could go later if something unexpected happens, but I really feel like Wednesday it should be out the door on or before Wednesday is my thought. Don't have to worry about consolation cards there because every team is going to pull cards, and yeah, there's a ton of cards in this break. So this is an 8-box half case. It's the back half of a case of 2020 Donruss Baseball, and this is break number 6. We've got team names there on the left-hand side. Winning bidders are across from each team on the opposite side. And what else do we need to know about this? Everybody's all paid up, so that's good news. Yeah, so this is the last of the Donruss, so we're going to hope to go out with a bang tonight, so to speak. We'll go out with some big hits, we hope. And let me get these stacked up here on the table, and we'll get underway shortly. Now, each one of our boxes should have 3 autograph or memorabilia cards. Now, you know the deal with Panini. It always says on average. So here's what on average really means. It means that sometimes they just don't give us a hit we're supposed to have, and is not fun when that happens. It doesn't happen often, unfortunately, but it does happen occasionally. If that happens to us tonight, well, we hope it won't, but the other option that could happen to us tonight, of course, is points cards. Sometimes they replace one or more hits with a Panini Rewards Point card. And if that happens to us, which is far more likely, we will use random.org to distribute that points card at the end of the break. All right, so this product has almost as many parallels as it does base cards. It's probably 50-50, truthfully. And many of the parallels in here are very high numbered. So for the most part, on the high numbered stuff, we're not really going to stop and dwell on that stuff. I may not even call out the number. You're going to see it there on the camera, but I'm not necessarily going to stop and read off every time we hit something to $9.99 or $5.99 or some of this other crazy high numbered stuff. So what we're going to focus on are things that are numbered 99 and lower, more specifically 49 and lower, we hope. And, of course, our hits. Obviously, we're going to spend a little extra time on our hits. And we will find some cards in here, I'm quite sure, for USA Baseball. I don't do a separate USA Baseball bidding category in this particular product because on the front side of it, it has prospects, but on the back side of it, it happens to have veteran players in their Team USA uniforms, but nonetheless, current active players. And I feel like those teams should have a chance to get that card too. So all of our Team USA cards that we pull, or USA Baseball cards, will go over here in what I call our housekeeping area, and it will stay there until the end of the night. And then I will use random.org, and we'll figure out if those cards go to the prospect side of the card or if they will go to the veteran active player side of the card. So we'll work that out then. And let's see, I better catch up on my chat here while I'm getting these open. Jay Allen was nice enough to type in our jersey hits because he knows somebody always comes in and asks. So thank you, Jay Allen. You've always got my back. I love it, man. I appreciate you. I do. Bernie was happy with his jersey. Well, I'm glad that you were. Hines Ward is a good one. I loved Hines Ward. I was sad when he retired. Loved him a lot. Jay Allen, you're glad you lost the Titans in the jersey break. Yeah, Titans are another one that come out pretty often, either as the Titans themselves or very commonly as the Oilers as well. Of course, all the Oilers stuff goes to the Titans, so yeah, they do come out very frequently, but not tonight for whatever reason. So, Jay Allen, you tonight in this break have the Phillies, the Rockies, and the Pirates. And you're not going to hang out with us long tonight? Are you tired today? It's been a long work week, I bet. Let me just get a little drink of water here, and we will start looking through all this massive stack of cards. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to go pretty quickly through most of this stuff because they're even going through this at a pretty good clip. It will take us quite a long time to get this broken. So we're not going to spend a lot of time dwelling on most stuff. I'm going to talk about this for a minute because it is a hollow foil, and we'll see lots of hollow foils. Some of them, not this one in particular, but many of them in here are going to have that coating starting to peel back a little bit from the card, and we also find that there's a lot of corner dings with those this year. So that's always been a little bit of a problem with the hollow foils in here, but this year is worse than ever. See, there's a perfect example of it on that Shohei Ohtani. You can see right there along that bottom edge, it's pulling away. Many of them are going to look like that. So this one, of course, is numbered to 200. We're stopping on it right now because it's the first one we've seen that's numbered. Normally, on the higher numbered stuff, I'm probably just going to turn it, let you see the numbering on it, and then we'll just keep right on going. I'm not going to stop and spend a great amount of time on it because, well, they're high numbered and we'll be here for all of time and eternity if we do, kind of. So So that's kind of the deal. Trying to think what else. I know there's something else I'm not thinking of, but of course when we run across it, we'll know then. This is an example of the USA baseball cards I was talking about. So of course you got the active player on the back, the prospect on the front, and all of those will just go right up there in that housekeeping area to be dealt with at the end of the night. By this time next week, we will have the NFL draft already underway and on our second night of it, as a matter of fact. So I'm pretty excited about that. I bet we all are, right? Like, normally it's fun to watch the draft, but when there hasn't been anything to watch for a really long time, it's a lot of fun to watch the draft. So that is a Rafael Devers. It is lower numbered. It is numbered 250 for the Red Sox. And of course, I didn't mention these, but those little blank cards, those little spacers or dummy cards, or they're called all kinds of things. Whatever you prefer to call them, there will be plenty. I do generally flip them over and show you front and back just so we make sure no card is stuck to it. For the Angels, they have got our first hit tonight with Patrick Sandoval, a signature series autograph numbered to 99 for the Angels. So, yeah, so of course the WNBA draft, I guess, started tonight, maybe, I think. Dominators will find this numbered to a variety of things. That particular one, Garrett Cole, for the Yankees was high numbered to 999, and most of them will be high numbered like that. We may find a few that are lower, but the vast majority are going to be pretty up there in terms of numbers. I think probably most of you know by now we are actually going to have 2 new releases next Friday. We didn't think we were going to have any more until like at least probably the middle of May, and then they popped up and told us about these 2 a day or 2 ago. Charlie Morton and the Tampa Bay Rays, that is numbered to 75. So we're going to get definitive baseball Friday, a week from today. And we are also going to get Leaf Flash Baseball. I think it was Leaf Flash Baseball. They make Flash Football too, but I think it's Flash Baseball that's coming Friday. So that'll give us a new something to look forward to next week. And maybe we'll get lucky and they'll keep trickling out a few little odds and ends here and there. That would be fine with me. But the way things are sounding, I believe a lot of places are going to start maybe opening at least some of their businesses back up over the course of the next maybe 2 to 4 weeks. So we might not go as long as we originally thought without new releases. I'm kind of cautiously optimistic that we might perhaps see something else by middle of May, end of May, somewhere in there, as opposed to the last stuff we had heard, which was crazy. So that one, again, it's numbered, but very, very high on the now playing insert. We'll see quite a few of those too, I'm sure. And what else? Oh, Jay Allen, you got Baltimore in here too. I just glanced over and saw that. So you want some mojo for your Orioles as well. All right, we will do our very, very best. I bet you're supposed to get some weather this weekend in the Carolinas, aren't you? We are, I guess, getting ready to have another kind of swath of stormy, nasty weather starting through a large part of the country in the south and the eastern part of the country. I guess mostly starting tomorrow. I mean, we've already got rain and that kind of stuff here, but we haven't had any quote-unquote storms, at least not yet. Numbered to 99, it is an Aaron Judge relic for the Yankees. And what else? What else? Not much else in that box. That box is finished up. Stang Lover, you said Leaf is getting redemption sent out. You got your Wando Franco and your Yordan Alvarez yesterday. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, of course the deal with Leaf is they they were kind of prepared, I think, to a certain extent to do that. I mean, Brian had sent us that message saying that they had gotten the signed stuff back right before all this really broke out and went nationwide. He had sent out an email saying, "Oh, we've gotten our our signed cards back, and we don't know how much of it we'll be able to get out before we shut things down and all that." Then he came back and said that they weren't going to ship any new releases until all of the brick and mortar stores they serve were open, or until the vast majority of them were. And then he came back again and said, well, we shut everything down. We're all working from home, blah, blah, blah. So nobody was expecting to see anything from him based on all those things that he said. And then out of the blue last week, he comes up and says, oh, yeah, we're going to go ahead and release Flash Baseball. So I don't know. It was weird, kind of, But anyway, I think I don't think there's a ton of people in that office to begin with. And I think some of them, probably Brian and maybe another one or two, have gone in and done a few things, including getting out those redemptions, I'm sure. So, Jay Allen, no, I guess we did not get 3 hits in box number 1. Now we just got that. Aaron Judge and Patrick Sandoval. So see, that's like what I was talking about at the early part of the broadcast when I was talking about this product. Sometimes that happens. They just don't give you everything you're supposed to have. I've had it happen in Donruss baseball. I've had it happen in Donruss basketball. I've had it happen in hoops basketball. It's usually the products like this where there are a lot of packs and a lot of base cards and whatever. Those, to me, are the products that I have noticed where Panini sometimes just completely leaves out a hit. Now, on the flip side, occasionally you will have one where there's an extra hit that you're not expecting. And, of course, that means that it probably took the hit out of somebody else's box. So somebody somewhere probably has a box, maybe us tonight, who knows, that will have an extra hit in it, because clearly one of our boxes didn't have them all, which I didn't even notice until Jay Allen caught it right there. So thank you for that, sir. But yeah, they certainly did not give us one. Well, Staying Lever, the Panini turnarounds don't have as much to do with the fact that Panini's not sending them out as they do with the fact that they don't get the cards back from the athletes in a timely manner at all. And whatever way they get their autographs, they do it obviously quite differently than Topps. I think Topps gets a lot of their stuff done in person by Topps representatives, and they travel around to various things and they just, sit there and get them done. And Panini, I don't think, does that. I believe Panini just sends their stuff out, and when it comes back, it comes back, And so some players are better about it than others. That is to 100 J.D. Martinez in the Red Sox. Now, the exception, of course, would be the stuff that isn't on-card signed. Anything that's a sticker, you're likely to get a lot faster for whatever reason. Probably because Panini has a stash of stickers on a lot of these guys that they've had signed in past years, or a lot of times even when they're rookies, they have them sign a ton of stuff, and they might even still be using stuff that the person signed in their rookie year 2 or 3 years later. But the on-card stuff where the player has to physically sign the card and return it, yeah, it's entirely dependent upon when that player decides to do it. And I don't think Panini has a good, obviously, system in place to maybe keep track of that and or get these guys motivated to turn them in. Acuna for the Braves, a relic, and that is out of box number 2, our first hit out of there. Jay Allen says he thinks we had a box in the first half of this case that was short a hit too. Well, we might have. It's been a while since we opened the first half of this. I would not even begin to tell you what was in here. in the first half of that. This, though, is numbered to 10, so there's a low number parallel for the Royals, the lowest one we've seen so far tonight being to 10. Stang Lover says you've got 5 or 6 redemptions that are nearing 2 years old. Oh, yeah, I've got a bunch that are probably 4, 5, 6 years old just sitting there. Bobby Bradley and the Cleveland Indians. This is numbered to 25, a Signature Series autograph, and that is our second hit out of our second box. I'm trying to do better about keeping track of our hits now, since I know that they messed up and didn't give us one we were doing in the first box, which is terrible, but unfortunately, it does happen. I used to try to contact somebody and get something done about it, like, hey, you left one of our hits out, but yeah. They so do not care, really. So, not much you can do about it. This one you can see kind of just from the way the light's hitting it. You've got some corner issues. You've also got a little piece of the paper pulling up there. So it's got pretty much the everything we talked about that is happening with those hollow foil cards this year is happening with that one. But it was, I think Nico was numbered to 400. You probably saw it on there. But nonetheless, hollow foils are in worse shape than usual this year, it seems like. They're never great in this product, but they seem especially beat up this year. What did you say, Stang Lover, about your second comment? What did you say about confirming your second comment? What was your second comment? What was your second comment? Oh, you think they would all have the time to sign now? Oh, the players. Yeah, you would think, but again, who knows what the circumstance is? You don't know if is it at their home? Is it at their agent's office? Is it somewhere in their sitting in their locker at the stadium? I mean, who knows where the stuff is that even needs to be signed or anything else, but it is, generally speaking, the delay has to do with the player more than the fact that Panini's not getting it shipped out. So, because when they get them, they generally get the turnaround done very quickly. The problem, as always, is the getting it. So, it probably helps, frankly, that this is a nice little rated rookie. Wander for the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's high numbered to 999, but still, nice looking card, and it is Wander Franco. But I do think it probably helps that Topps just has baseball. Probably easier for them to get their stuff, whereas Panini is dealing with, of course, baseball and football and basketball and all those people they track down for Star Wars and Walking Dead and all that other stuff they do. Or some of that Topps. I guess all that stuff's Topps, isn't it? Star Wars and Walking Dead and all that. I guess that's Topps. That is J.D. Davis. It is numbered to 25. So there's a low numbered one for Mr. J.D. Davis and the Mets. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I fully expect that we are going to have a massive amount of redemptions in early 2020 products. And there's our first Diamond Kings that is a hollow foil and numbered. And I'm going to tell you why I think we're going to have a massive amount. And it's terrible, but I do think it's going to happen that way. Oops, that's numbered to 75. Sorry about that. Didn't catch that originally. I was just then saw it for the Twins. Arias to 75. And that is because usually Panini has the NFL Rookie Premiere right around... well, right after the draft, pretty shortly after the draft. There's a Marcell Ozuna. It happens to be numbered to 12 for the Cardinals. So we've had a couple of low-numbered things come out, 1 to 12, 1 to 10. But so at the NFL Rookie Premiere, it's a multi-day event, but that's where Panini gets, it's not just Panini. I think there are a bunch of people there, and these NFL Players Association decides what rookies get invited. But then the rookies that are there to learn a bunch of stuff, but also to negotiate sponsorships and to fulfill obligations like signing stickers and cards and all that. And usually Topps will have the cards already printed up, the signature cards, for most of these guys that are at the premiere that are going to be heavily featured in their products. So even though the rest of the product might not be printing for months from that time, they have just those cards for those individuals printed early to get them signed, the ones that have to be on card signed. And all that stuff happens at the Rookie Premiere. Except this year, there's no Rookie Premiere. So that would lead one to believe that we are probably going to have just an unbelievable amount of redemptions in the early products. I would be very surprised if it is other than that. So that's what I'm thinking. So we will see. Stang Lover said if Ozuna was still a Cardinal, I know. Well, he was a Cardinal on that card, so if you've got St. Louis in here, you obviously get that card, but I don't, you may be lamenting more the state of your team than that card, I'm thinking. So we will see. Yeah, Nelson, we're already on it there. I had already had discussion with Jay Allen earlier today and gotten all of that worked out for you. So we were already on top of it, my friend. You got no worries. It's gonna get handled for sure. I'm wondering how the virtual draft is possibly going to affect trading. Because I would think where the way things are set up, it's going to be a lot harder to do draft night trades because you don't even have the people from one team in the same spot. Everybody's all spread out. So then you're going to have multiple guys from your team on Zoom or whatever working on the draft, also trying to communicate with multiple guys from other teams who are trying to work out trades when everybody's not sitting in the same room or the same building. I think we may not see as many draft night trades as we might normally. I think people will either work them out ahead of time or we just won't see as many. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe there will be every bit as many, but I don't think so. I think logistically it'll be harder to do. Number to 100, that is Kirby Yates for the Padres. And then, of course, the other thing that was interesting about it is the guys who would have been in the green room there on site for the draft. They're going to have, of course, camera crews. Oh, that's unfortunate on that Bichette. They're in the home of these players that would have ordinarily been in the green room. So I guess they've sent them all some big memo about what they can eat, what they can wear, what they can drink. It's like going to be a whole thing because they can't display any logos, eat any food on camera, have any beverage on camera that isn't already approved by the NFL Players Association. And it has to be like an NFL sponsor. And they're being super strict about it, apparently. Willy Adames and the Tampa Bay Rays with an autograph hit. And right behind that, we have our other autograph, and that is Tony Gonzalez for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we've got two autographs coming out there right together. So, and it doesn't just apply to the player either. They've made it clear that the player is responsible for everybody who's at their draft night party. So you can't have your friend come in drinking Coke if Pepsi's the sponsor. You can't have them eating Papa John's if Pizza Hut's the sponsor. Can't wear a Nike logo if, although I think Nike does do the uniforms there, but you get the idea. So apparently they're sending these guys, these green room guys, a welcome kit, I think is kind of what it is, basically, where they send them little bits and pieces of the approved products, beverages, athletic wear, apparel, whatever. Another one peeling up so that they can, if they don't already have whatever they need to, they will have at least a little bit of it for when the camera crews are sitting in their house. So should be interesting all the way around. Oh, Nelson, you said you got the one today, which I knew, of course. You got another one due to arrive tomorrow. Well, good. Yeah, the one, I mean, the post office, guys, has just been dreadful in the last month or so. Nelson Cruz for the Twins, and that is numbered to 108, oddly enough. They've had a lot of stuff that is taking a very long time to deliver, things that might normally take 1 or 2, 3 days, or sometimes taking 4, 5, 8, 10, 15 days. I mean, the times have been really bad. Pache's a nice one, to 149 for the Braves. And I've also had some packages that just have dropped off the radar. We've got a couple of those where they scanned them, even in the city where they were to be delivered. They were scanned at that local post office, and then that's it. And then they never scanned again, never got delivered. And in some cases, it's been a couple of weeks already, and they have not shown back up. A couple of weeks since they last scanned, I mean. Numbered to 115, that is a John Means for the Baltimore Orioles. And then poor Jay Allen, they got his package I sent to him, looked like caught in a piece of machinery, as best anybody can tell. It was just absolutely ripped apart, crushed the plastic box used to safeguard everything and get it there safely, completely destroyed that. And I think Jay Allen had said some other things it did too, but I mean, post office has just been harsh lately. I can sometimes go 2 or 3 years without a single package being lost. So to have a couple of them floating around in the ether right now is very strange. And there is Mark McGwire for the St. Louis Cardinals with a relic hit. So, Stanglover, you said 50 plus years of a Cardinals fan, and they'll be fine without Ozuna, just one of those cards that's worthless after they leave. Well, it depends. I mean, there's still people who probably collect the team, even the players who have already gone. And there are people who will just collect the player, and they don't care what uniform they're in. Now, you and I are a little more like, hey, we want the players that are current on our teams, for sure. But I do also keep cards of guys who have moved on if they happen to be players I really liked. So, or like a Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, he was Mariner first and a Red second, but I'm happy to get his cards either way. Mariners or Reds, doesn't bother me because I just like him. So maybe it won't be totally without value. We hope, anyway, right? We don't want to send Stanglover a big package of nothing because he doesn't like that. Nelson, you want to know what wide receiver should the Steelers draft, or are we going to be happy selecting Jalen Hurts? Well, we don't have a first-round pick, of course. We burned our first-round pick to get Minkah Fitzpatrick during the season this past year, so we have no first-round pick. So I haven't really thought much about it. because I don't really know who's going to be off the board at that point. I don't know that I wouldn't be working more on the line myself than a wide receiver. Although, maybe. I mean, it certainly never hurts to pick up more wide receivers, but I don't know if that would be my first choice. Honestly, tight end is my first choice. But we picked up, what's his head? Who is that guy? He's been on, was it Eric Ebron? Is that who it was that we just picked up? Anyway, somebody to fill in and compete for the tight end job, but we haven't had what I think is a really good tight end in a long time. Not since, well, in a long time. So Heath Miller, I guess, was the last one that I really liked. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing us get tight end. I wouldn't mind seeing us pick up some linebackers, and I don't care one way or the other about wide receiver, because you can frankly find wide receivers way down in the draft that are still quite good. Witness Antonio Brown. He was a late round selection, and we see what he turned out to be before he went crazy and lost his mind. So, and ditto with running backs. You can still find talent deep down the chart for running backs as well. So I haven't really thought too much about it, I guess. Jay Allen says the NFL is so dumb. I'd have a contract to drink Pepsi on camera and be eating what I want to. Well, here's the thing. I'm sure that they had contracts in place with certain brands for the televised event of the draft. And obviously, it's being done in a completely different format, but that would not nullify those contracts, which would have specified whatever they would specify. You know, you're going to have XYZ beverage available and XYZ snack available and whatever. So I'm sure those contracts are the reason why. And it's actually the Players Association that is doing that, not the NFL proper. It's the NFL Players Association that sent out all of those memos and things to these young guys and told them what it's got to be like. So, you know, so we'll see. Oh, wow, Stang Lover, you said you had a package with a Panini Redemption scanned, leaving your the distribution center near you. I'm paraphrasing there. And it never got to your local post office. I know, weird stuff. It's been weird lately. David Ortiz, that is numbered to 99. So cool little relic hit there for the Red Sox. But it's been an unusual amount of problems. I mean, really, truly, I can go 2-3 years without having a lost package normally. And so to have 2 within a month that haven't scanned in over 2 weeks is not good. Graterol for the Minnesota Twins. So, and then of course some of them are just slower, and not everybody gets that either. So, you know, you have some people that they get bothered by the fact that it's just taking longer than normal. That one was numbered to 50, and it was Jake Fraley for the Mariners. And you wouldn't really think that it should take longer, because I think the mail volume is down. Now, the package volume is up, because we're all sitting home and ordering a bunch of stuff. Another one with a bad divot out of the bottom, and it was numbered to 81 for Dylan Cease. It's not really a divot, it's just the coating peeling up, but same as. It doesn't look good anyway. So I think package volume is up, but other mail volume is probably down. I don't know why in the world it's so messed up right now. Just some kind of, who knows what. Some kind of mail curse at the moment. Things are going all funky. But hopefully it will be limited to just those 2 or 3 things, and maybe things will start getting back to normal. That would be the goal, the hope anyway, that happens. But I know the mail volume's down, because when they come to do my pickup, they're coming earlier and earlier and earlier. And some days they come so early that I'm not even ready. They're coming a couple of hours, 2-3 hours sometimes earlier than they would normally be. And then I discovered last week, when I was going to run some stuff up there, because it had been such an early pickup day. And of course, I don't like to go in there because there's 1,000,001 people in there, and I try to avoid it because of our situation currently with all of our COVID stuff. I try not to go into places like that, but I was like, well, this stuff needs to go out and it's ready to go, so let's just take it up there. And then I find out, well, whoops, they closed. So they've shortened all the hours in our lobby too, so the volume's got to be way down for them to cut back lobby hours and those routes to be finishing that much earlier. So it's been weird times for the old post office. And even UPS, whose volume should be way up, has been running really early. It's just weird. This is Lucas Giolito, that's to 100 for the White Sox. Unless it is just that they don't have as many business deliveries, I guess, because so many businesses are closed. Oh, that doesn't go up there. I just realized I laid a Dominators up there in the USA. That's not where that goes. We would have found it anyway, but I just saw it up there. So maybe because they don't have so many business stops to make, that's why we get our stuff so early. I mean, I don't know. Does that say, damn USA, Texas? Probably that's not what that was supposed to be, but that's the way I'm reading your username. And you said Ebron is good when he's healthy. Yeah, I don't dispute that, but I still wouldn't mind seeing us draft a tight end. Going back to that conversation. It's to 50, Goldie, Cardinals. Because we just haven't had any luck there. And we've tried to draft tight ends, and we've just done not a good job drafting them. Or they've been a bad fit, or things just don't work out. I don't know. For whatever reason, Steelers seem to be having some kind of challenge in that area in recent years. So we need to come up with somebody, I think. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing us pick up another quarterback too, but I don't believe they're going to, especially with no first round selection. I think it's probably unlikely that we would do that. Sang Lover said the Bengals are adding the XFL running back Jacques Patrick. Oh, well, there you go. He says now those immaculate collegiate cards for him have relevance again. Well, see, there you go. You just had to wait a little while. Just have to wait a little while. Yeah, I kind of wish in a way that I had broken a little bit of XFL just because of PJ and him and a few of the guys that have gotten picked up. But after getting burned with that AAF stuff, I didn't even put a toe in the water on XFL. So Patrick Sandoval for the Angels. Second time we've seen him tonight already. Signature, I mean. And of course, right now you can't buy anything because everybody is scrambling for product to open, not knowing when we'll next have new releases, etc. So the prices for everything are going absolutely through the roof, and the supply of everything is dwindling down to nothing. And people are picking up anything current or remotely current, and then also going back and taking a lot of older stuff. Even a lot of the retail stuff is really up in price and or flying off the shelves because, well, you know, I mean, sometimes the retail stuff has good hits in it too. And I would assume people are breaking that as well. So it's been nuts anyway. Absolutely nuts. Jay Allen is heading out for the night. All right. He's reminding me he needs mojo for the Orioles, Phillies, Rockies, and Pirates. I will do my best, sir. Stang Lover, you said in December when you had your lost card and you tweeted and emailed and called and had no luck at all. Wow. An impeccable autograph relic 25. And that's unusual too, in the sense that normally if you get a card from Panini that is a higher end card or a more expensive card, however you want to say that, it usually comes signature required, which has a little more detailed tracking information. Not necessarily than what we can see. We may not see anything different on the consumer side. But if you go to the post office, you know, they can always see extra stuff that we can't see. And I think with signature tracking, there's maybe even a little more detail. And I'm surprised that they could not locate that, but there's definitely a lot of that going on right now. So, I mean, one of these packages that's MIA for me scanned in that person's local post office, like their local branch. So it already gone through the distribution center, gets to the branch where all it has to do is go to the carrier and go to the mailbox, and never heard from it again. Has not scanned since, never showed up or anything. So one of these days maybe they'll find a guy like like the postal people who you hear about that take all the gift cards. And those, they busted a couple of different, well, rings is maybe not the right word, but sort of rings where the postal people would open cards or things that felt like they had gift cards in them. You know, might be a birthday card to Billy from Grandma or whatever. But if it felt like it had a gift card in it, they were not delivering it and they were taking it. And in some cases, sitting there in their mail truck and opening them up and taking the gift cards out. And in other cases, I think taking the mail off site and opening them up and removing cash and gift cards and things. And they definitely busted a number of people for that over the last few years. So maybe we've got somebody out there, some rogue, somebody who's trying to take baseball cards, I don't know, to 100 Chris Sale and the Red Sox. But you do hear about stuff like that, or the one guy they found that just had a bunch of mail at his house. That's to 249 Tatis for the Padres. That he just, whatever, didn't want to run the rest of his route, got tired, didn't feel like fooling with it, whatever his reason was, he just had a bunch of mail at his house that he just never delivered. Didn't open it, just didn't deliver it. Brian Anderson to 50 for the Marlins. Which always makes me think of Newman, of course, on Seinfeld, you know, because he had that problem on the television show. Just not wanting to do it and having a bunch in his apartment on one of those episodes, I think, if I remember that correctly. Why'd I say rightly? I don't know. Brain's not working correctly. Austin Meadows to 99, Tampa Bay Rays, Dominators. So, I don't know. So, they never did anything for you, huh, Stang Lover? They would not replace it, I take it, or do anything? I am a little surprised they wouldn't at least replace it, so. Oh, it was FedEx lost it, not the post office. Oh, wow. Okay, so FedEx was, so basically it was Smart Post, where FedEx takes it in and gets it to the local post office, and then the post office does what they call the last mile delivery, meaning they take it from your local branch to your mailbox. But yeah, so FedEx lost it somewhere in the handoff then, I guess, on a Smart Post. Oh, that blows. That's even worse. Well, yeah, I could see how FedEx wouldn't do anything. I think that's pretty common. It would have to come from Panini to make that, to do anything with it, honestly. Bryce Harper and the Phillies numbered to 75, because it would be Panini who would have to make the insurance claim, and or they would have to be the ones to replace the card if they could replace it. But they for sure would have to be the ones to file and receive any insurance claim money. So they're not wrong about that, FedEx, but you would think that their tracking might have been a little better than that. One would have hoped. Here's a sweet little Joe Adell card for the Angels. You know I like these rated prospects cards anyway, and that one was very high numbered. It was to 999. I thought it said 99 when I put it in the sleeve, and then, I looked again and it said 999, but that's all right. Still a good one to have, player-wise anyway. That Kershaw there is another one to 999. So I guess they're talking more and more about really doing the entire baseball season in Arizona, which is just strange to me the way they're talking about it. Jake Rogers and the Tigers. Signature Series autograph. Not that it's strange to do it all in Arizona. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Although I liked it better when it was going to be Cactus League and Grapefruit League, like was a brief discussion they had. But what I think doesn't make sense is they're talking about, for whatever length of season they play, completely sequestering all players and all staff. So you would do nothing but go play the game and then go back to your hotel. And just a rinse and repeat every single day until your season was over. And I think that sounds horrible if you're a player. I mean, gosh, that would, I mean, really, your hotel room and playing the game, and that's it. That was numbered to 212, Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. And they asked Mike Trout about it, and you know Mike Trout usually doesn't say much about anything, but he even said he did not know that he wanted to do that. That is a Verlander relic for the Astros. And he specifically noted that his wife is pregnant with their first child. And he said, well, there's no way I would miss the birth of my first child. He says, so what happens if I go leave for that when I come back? I mean, am I going to have to quarantine for 14 days before I can come back and play? Or what, like, how is that going to work? To 109, Eddie Rosario and the Minnesota Twins. So I know they want to find a way to make it work, but I do think if you're a player, it would be terrible to spend 2, 3, 4 months just in one hotel room and just going from the hotel room to the ballpark. And not just them, the support staff and all the other people as well. Jesus Luzardo for the Oakland A's with a Signature Series autograph. So you're talking about all your managers, all your everybody. I mean, oh, it just would not be fun, I don't think. So, but I know everybody's anxious to get back to playing it. I mean, we're anxious to get back to watching it too, but I'm just not sure if that's totally the plan that would be the best plan, or if maybe you just wait another month or so and then go back and play as normal. Maybe they're thinking it won't be normal in a month or so, I guess. Stanglover said already tickets to one game gone by. Another would have been Monday against the Reds. Oh, no refund announcement yet. They have some notion of making them up somehow. Yeah, I know. I had read that baseball, especially for season ticket holders and things, they weren't doing anything yet because they think that even if there's a shortened season, that they'll be playing double headers and doing other stuff where they can still you get your value out of it, or they just don't want to do anything until they know for sure what's going to happen. But hopefully they will. I'm sure at some point they will give you your money back, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Nobody wants to have cash tied up for events that you know aren't going to take place. On the flip side, if anybody has to travel for Thanksgiving or Christmas, you should book your airline tickets now. The prices are absolutely dirt cheap, and on top of that, they're selling them with a full change policy. So you can like change them or do whatever at any time. And when I looked at it, even the tickets that were being sold out into Thanksgiving and Christmas territory, even though it was that far out, it still was a ticket that allowed changes with no penalty. So if anybody goes home or goes somewhere normally for Christmas or Thanksgiving, where usually it's hard to find a good flight, hard to get good times, hard to get good fares or good seats, go book it, because you will save a lot of money. And they were talking about some fares right now between, where was it? It was like New York and Florida, or New York and California, California and Florida. I don't know, one of those big, but somewhere between those three cities, some pairing between that. It was $30 round trip. Round trip. If you want to fly right now. Of course, nobody's going to fly right now, which is why it's $30. But even projecting out far down into holiday time frames, the fares were still several $100s less than normal. And when it comes with a full change fee, I don't know why anybody wouldn't go ahead and book it. I called several of my friends who travel over the holidays and said, hey, guess what? You should be going on and doing this. Save yourself some money. And if you've got to do something with it later, then do something with it later, but be free to do it, so go book it. So for whatever that's worth. Some of the hotels, I think, are really inexpensive right now too, but others are holding the line, haven't lowered their rates. So I don't know if it would be as easy to get a hotel, but if you were, or as inexpensive, but if you were going to a family member's house or a friend's house or something, you could probably save a lot of money by booking it now. Of course, I guess the airlines got a lot of money in that stimulus deal, so it should keep them afloat anyway, well through the next few months. So I wouldn't be worried about any of the big ones going out of business. I wouldn't be rushing out to buy tickets on a little airline, but on a big one, I think it'd be fine. And there's some kind of something coming on tomorrow night. I saw it advertised, or heard it rather, more to the point. I didn't see it because I was working, but I had the television was on in the background. Some kind of special program tomorrow night on, maybe it was CBS. I don't really know what it is. Some kind of worldwide thing, entertainment thing. That's to 167. We do have a little bit of a bad corner, it looks like, for the Angels. So I assume it's going to be more people doing stuff from their homes and kind of stitching it together with a host who's also in home. Pete Alonso and the Mets. That one was to 100 for the Polar Bear. So maybe we'll have something interesting to watch there. You never know. Joe Palumbo for the Texas Rangers. So the Rangers with a signature series autograph tonight. I just know I'm really looking forward to the draft. Even though it's going to be kind of funky, I think. I think it's going to be hard to keep the pacing up, but we'll see. So most of you probably know by now that Joe Buck, we've talked about this before, but sports announcer Joe Buck has been doing for a while now, narrating people's individual videos. So you can send him a video of whatever it is, you know, your fish swimming in a bowl, your cats playing with each other, your kid racing your grandpa, it doesn't matter, whatever. And he's picking out some of them, and he's doing a play-by-play announcing for people's individual videos, and a lot of them are very funny. And so, of course, it's been a thing. He's been doing it for several weeks now. You can find it on this Twitter feed. There's a nice little Shohei Ohtani. And it is numbered also to $9.99 on the highlights. It's a nice looking card. And so apparently some adult entertainment company offered him $1 million to do some of their, I think it was live cam stuff, if I read it right. And of course he turned it down. But I was like, oh no, that is just messed up. John Smoltz for the Atlanta Braves with a relic. But he said, I thought his response was funny. He said, well, depending on what company it is, they might just be giving me some of my own money back. And then his wife chimed in on Twitter and basically told him it was an epic fail that he didn't do it. So the whole thing was pretty funny, but anyway. There's a San Diego chicken. I always like getting the San Diego chicken card. So, of course, that's going to go to the Padres. But it's just a cool little card. So, I don't know. I've always liked the chicken. I think he's cute. Little mascot. We haven't seen him in years, but I remember him. Eloy. Nice hit for the White Sox with Eloy Jimenez. Autograph for Chicago White Sox. And then we're about to hit one down in here that's going to be going to random, and that's why I just shuffled it back, because I was like, oh, well, we're going to have to talk about it in a minute. So I shuffled it back again because I want to get these other cards out of my hand first, and then we'll pick it up and have a little chat about it. So this guy is not a baseball player, but I think he runs some kind of baseball academy or something. Does it tell us on the back what he does? Not really. But anyway. So, I don't know. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He does something. Has an academy. I don't know what he does. Anyway, he's in here a lot. And he has to go through random.org. Because obviously he's not affiliated with a specific team. So, that card there also has to go up here into housekeeping, and we will give every team who's in this break will have an opportunity to take that little autograph relic card home by way of random.org. Oh, Matt says that he runs a clinic on YouTube. Okay, see, I knew he was somebody weird. I shouldn't call him somebody weird. I don't know what I should call him. But anyway, I guess it's not that he's weird. I just knew that he wasn't mainstream. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. So, yes, thank you, Matt, for that. And hi, CC Helper. You said baseball will have to do lots of testing if they do that Arizona route. And you are right about that. Yeah, they'll be every day having to go through a temperature check before they can exit their hotel rooms, probably. Yeah, but we hit that guy, that Domingo guy, the YouTube guy. It seems like we hit him every break we do, even when it's only a half case at a time. I think we hit him like every time. So I don't know how much they put in here for him, but it seems like a lot. I don't know. Feels that way to me anyway. course, there's a lot of YouTube stars, sports and otherwise. A lot of those people make tons of money. I mean, some of those kids bringing in millions of dollars a year from YouTube videos. I would like to think that if that had been a thing when I was younger, like in high school or in college, I like to think that I would have found a way to monetize that and never gone to work for corporate America. Who knows if that's the way it would have worked out, but I like to think it would have worked out that way. Or the kids that get played are paid to play video games, right? Like, how much would we have loved that as kids? Well, I didn't play a lot of video games. I played a few. I wasn't probably very good at them, so I wouldn't have been making a living playing video games. But there are a lot of people who would have done that. My age group. If it had been a thing. One of my friends, she's got twin boys who are college age, and one of them, that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a professional gamer. It's to 300, no more Mazzara, and it's just killing her because, of course, when we grew up, there was no such thing as that. So that seems like a thing to her that shouldn't even be a possible career choice. And I imagine you would have a hard time making much money unless you're very, very good and at the top of that food chain, I'm sorry, I held that the wrong way. It's 187, and I held it the opposite way there. But who knows? I think the kid's just going to do what he wants to do. Usually they do what they want to do, no matter what. A Forrest Whitley, what I believe will be an autograph coming out. And that is the Houston Astros. Atari Tennis doesn't count, Stang Lover says. I did not play Atari Tennis, Stang Lover. I played Donkey Kong. It's the 249. Yeah, it was Donkey Kong. Not just Donkey Kong. I played some Sega stuff too, so a little Sonic the Hedgehog and some of that kind of stuff too, but Donkey Kong was one of the big ones. And Mario Brothers, everybody played Mario Brothers. Well, not everybody, but most everybody at some point at my age, in my age group, played Mario Brothers. There's Jake Rogers for the Tigers. I believe that is a bookend for that one as well, Signature Series. But I do remember Atari. We had an Atari when I was a kid. Yes, we did. We got an Atari for Christmas one year. Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres relic. So I do remember it. Space Invaders and that kind of stuff. And Pong, which is, I believe, what you were calling Atari Tennis, I believe is technically called Pong. Numbered to 75, that is Molitor for the Minnesota Twins. Ryzen has joined us. Hi, Ryzen. How are you tonight? Another USA Baseball. Got quite a large stack of those going at this point. Do we have another hit to find? Maybe. I can't recall what we've had at least 2 out of here. I can't remember if we've had the third one or not. Maybe we have. But I wouldn't absolutely swear to it. So we'll look through this little stack and that will tell us for sure. Stang Lover said if you had said Pong, 3/4 of the people watching would have had no clue. Really? You think that many? That many people wouldn't have known Pong? Well, Stang Lover, I guess we are really old if you think 70... You really think that many, 75% of the people don't know what Pong is that would be on here right now? No, that can't be right. Ah, you just made me feel really old, man. Was that necessary? Oh, it's all good. I am sure you are correct. There would all be... Somebody would have to be Googling it. Not everybody, but some would have to Google it to find out what in the world Pong was. So that's true. All right, we've got one box left. So we are last box mojoing it right now. And of course, after we look through this box, which will still take us a little bit of time here, but when we do get that accomplished, we will then use random.org to award our USA baseball cards. And after that, we'll use random.org again to award the YouTube guys card. And then after we've done all of that, we will recap our hits. And after we do that, we'll recap a few things on the spreadsheet, like shipping date and what's coming up in the days ahead and all that fun stuff. So that's what it's going to look like here for about the next 20 minutes or so. Stang Lover, you need a Cardinals autograph out of this last box, huh? Okay. Well, we will see if we can locate a Cardinals autograph for you. Try to get a little last box mojo love going there for Stang Lover tonight. You know, I'm just sitting here looking at this thinking, I know I had a stack of that stuff, that Prestige 2018. At one time I had a bunch of those. And the idea was I was going to put them together and make a break with them. And you know, I can't find the others. So I don't know what happened to them. I don't think that I sold them. I was pretty sure that I haven't sold them, but I don't know where they are. So, there would have been some things like that we might have done if I could figure out where the stuff is, but I guess I must have. I don't know what I did with it. I don't know if I moved it somewhere and I will come across it still yet, or if I sold it, or if we opened it ourselves for like personal stuff. I don't know what I did with it. So I guess we'll have to stick to the tried and true for now. That's actually the case with a few things that are setting up there that at one time I know I had more of, and now I don't know where it is. Some of it I do. Some of it I know where it is, but a fair amount of it I don't. Number 275, it is Joey Votto for the Cincinnati Reds. And that one was also for the Reds. It was Suarez. I guess the good news for the Reds is Suarez ought to be healed from whatever weird swimming injury he had in the offseason. The bad news is we're paying Trevor Bauer and a bunch of other guys that are going to be free agents at the end of the season, and we're either going to see very little or none of them. depending on if and when this season gets started. A Royce Lewis. Wow, there's one we haven't seen in a while. So Minnesota Twins taking home a Royce Lewis autograph. Staying Lover says we all have stuff somewhere that can't seem to be found, that we think we have somewhere and can't find it. You have 4 or 5 autographs that you can't find. Oh, I tell you what, I had to look forever for something the other day. I was trying to find a particular card, and I just could not find it anywhere. And I started thinking, well, I've somehow sold that thing or traded it or done something with it, given it to somebody. And I did finally find it, but not at all where I thought it was. It's Javi Baez for the Cubbies with a relic. So, of course, I've got my own personal cards. Oh, they're all over the place. They are not really well consolidated. They're not even particularly well organized. They're pseudo-organized. But it still took me quite a long time to find that card. But these are, I mean, that's whole boxes of cards. Like, I don't know where that can be. That just shouldn't be anywhere other than 1 or 2 places. But yet, I didn't see it in the 1 or 2 places. And I know I think I had 6 boxes of that, honestly. And now there's just the one on the table is the only one I can find. So I'm going to have to try to look this weekend and see if I can locate some of that stuff. Numbered to 10, it's a press proof, a Diamond Kings insert press proof for the Texas Rangers and Lance Lynn. So, I don't know. I am going to have to try to just go through stuff, though, and figure out what's here and what isn't, and what we want to break and what we don't, and try to map out some kind of plan, I guess. Along with the 400,000 other things that I need to get done this weekend. I thought that was going to be numbered, and it wasn't. So, well. And everything just takes so much longer, doesn't it? Even the grocery store, you think, oh, it should save me so much time if I do pickup, because I don't have to walk through the grocery store to get all my items. And, oh, it's so much safer and it's so much faster and whatever. It's not faster. It takes longer. Because you have to spend forever going through the virtual store to get everything in your cart. And then you spend forever trying to get pickup time available that works with your schedule. So you're having to deal with all of that. And then once you manage to actually get it in your cart and get it picked up or get it scheduled for pickup, then start coming the email shortly before your pickup. Oh, they're out of this or they're out of that, or can we substitute this? Do you want to substitute that? And you're like, oh my gosh. And then by the time you get there, the pickup area has got other people in it, and you're sitting back there waiting for somebody to bring you your stuff and get it loaded in. I bet you it takes twice as long to do it that way. It seems like it would be so much more convenient, but it's really not. So the Angels end up getting another one with Matt. Is that Thaiss, guys? Is it pronounced Thaiss? Thaiss? I don't know how to pronounce that name. I've not heard it pronounced. If anybody does know, feel free to jump into chat and share that info. Okay, so we have a little work to do. First up, our USA baseball cards. So once again, prospects are on the front. Current players are on the back, or players currently associated with teams like Adley Rutschman. He's minor league, but he's there. So we're going to just look through the front side of these at the moment, and I think you can tell it's the front by the pattern, but also on the back you see the Panini logo, all the copyright info, etc. So the first thing we will do is go to random.org and put in front of the card and back of the card. I do random the same way every single time. So when I have 10 or more items in the list, I do random only once. When I have 9 or fewer, as we will have with this, obviously, I do random 3 different times. The first 2 do not count. It is only the third and final random that will make the determination about how that's going to go. So if it ends on, let me think about this. If it ends on the prospect side, then we would have to do another random to determine which team it went to, because those guys are not associated with teams at this point. If it goes to the veteran side of the card, which once again is the back side of the card, then obviously we do not have that worry. And we would just simply be able to sign them up and send them to the right team. Well, not sign them up, but you know what I mean. All right, front, which I made a typo in. How to manage that? Skipped a letter. Front and back. So third one is the one that counts. So you ignore the first one. Ignore the second one. And here comes our third and final. And there's 3 times our date and time stamp. And it goes to the front of the card. So what that means to you is, of course, that's the prospect side. So Torkelson, Lacey, Lofton, Mitchell, Abbott, Meyer, Detmers, Wilcox, and Bailey. Those are all going to go as one group to a single team. All those prospect Team USA cards are, because that's was awarded to the front side of the card, which are prospects, so therefore not yet on or signed with teams. So I'm just going to get them all in this nice little team bag here so that I can then write on this nice little team bag. And we're going to figure out where that lovely package of cards goes. This package of cards right here. So we'll go over here to the spreadsheet. I'm going to copy all 30 teams, and then I will paste that into random.org. And we will run it again. Oh, I forgot to change your view. Hang on. There you go. And this time, obviously, we've got 10 or more in our list because there are 30 teams. So this time I will be running random one single time. And whoever comes up on the top will take that home after we randomize. Scrolling through so we can see that all the teams were copied and pasted in there appropriately. Good luck, everybody. It is going to the White Sox. Okay, so the Chicago White Sox going to get this little team bag full of USA baseball cards. So I'm writing, of course, on the team bag. I would never write on your cards, but writing on the team bag so we know for later where that goes. So that brings us to this fine fellow here. He's also going to be given out using random.org. It will be all 32 teams handily already on our clipboard, so I can just paste it right back in there. And we will again run random one single time, given that this is once again a list with more than 10 items in it. So this is our same team set, but we'll scroll through it again so everybody can officially see it there. And good luck, everyone. This one goes to the Diamondbacks. How about that? They went in first and came out first. That's rare. But there you go. That's how it happened tonight. Did I not switch you over there? Did you all not see that random when I just did it? Did I leave you stuck on my view? Oh, man, I hope not. But if I did, in case I did, I'm showing you this now because it does have our date and time stamp on there, so you can see that I just ran it. But I don't know if I moved you or if I didn't move you. Did I move you? I don't know. Well, anyway, in case I didn't, there you could see it. But it does go to the Diamondbacks for that guy, YouTube guy. Jay Allen says, no, you didn't see it. Okay. Well, did you see it when I put it back up there the second time, though? You could see the date and time stamp, and you can see all the teams and all that, right? I mean, I could put it back up there again, but I think I showed it the second time. I can't believe I forgot to move it back over there the first time. That blows. But anyway, there it is. So you can definitely see today's date, the correct time. You can compare it, of course, to the time we ran the other one, and you would know that that is correct. Oh, now I hit another wrong thing. Now I'm all messed up. Daggone it. Who did I say it went to? The Diamondbacks? I think the Diamondbacks. I got to go back and look. Yes, Diamondbacks. Okay. All right, so Diamondbacks going here. And sorry about that, guys. I thought I had switched you over to my view until I came back, and then I thought I was going to switch you back and didn't look like I'd switched you there the first time. So apologies on that, but thank goodness that's why we have our date and time stamp and all that fun stuff on there. So came through for us in the end. So now we're going to recap a few things. And, oh, J. Allen, I thought you were gone, by the way. You must not be sleepy tonight yet. So these are some of the cards that are lower numbered. By lower numbered, I mean 99 or less. This one is numbered to 10. It's headed to the Rangers. Got one to 75 for the Reds. Minnesota Twins to 75. San Diego Chicken's not numbered, but he doesn't come out real often, so I put him in there to recap him anyway. Alonso in the Mets, technically to 100, so I should have said to 100 or less, I guess. Rosario for the Twins, I believe that said to 108 to 75. Bryce Harper and the Phillies to 99. Austin Meadows for the Rays. The Miami Marlins, numbered to 50. The Boston Red Sox, numbered to 100. Paul Goldschmidt to 50 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Giolito to 100, the White Sox. Robin Yount, that is going to be numbered to 89, and it heads to Milwaukee, the Brewers. Dylan Cease, numbered to, what does that say? 81, I think it said, for the White Sox. The Seattle Mariners, numbered to 50. There's a little Kirby Yates to 100 for the Padres. Ozuna, that one to 12 for the Cardinals. Numbered to 75, the Twins. Mondesi, that one numbered to 10 for the Royals. JD Martinez to 100, the Red Sox. Numbered to 75, Tampa Bay Rays. And numbered to 50, the Boston Red Sox. Now, keeping in mind for anybody who might be watching the recap and didn't watch the break throughout, a lot of the hollow foil cards, both regular base and hit varieties, have the surface peeling back. The coating is peeling back from the card stock. So that is, if you get cards like that, please understand they came out of the pack that way. And if you were to go back and watch through the break, you'd see us talking about it a lot more. But I know some people, of course, just watch the recap. So this went to the Diamondbacks by way of random.org, the YouTube baseball guy. The Chicago White Sox got this little package of USA baseball cards. Random first awarded it to the prospect side of the card, which meant we then had to do a second random to determine the team, which of course did come up as the White Sox. Now our stack of hits, that one's to the Angels, Matt, however you say his last name. Javi Baez with a relic for the Cubs. A Royce Lewis autograph, Minnesota Twins. Tatis relic for the Padres. Jake Rogers autograph for the Tigers, one of two for him, I think. Forrest Whitley and the Astros. There's an Eloy Jimenez autograph for the White Sox. A Smoltz relic for the Atlanta Braves. And there's a Joe Palumbo autograph for the Rangers. Jesus Luzardo for the Oakland A's. A Verlander relic for the Houston Astros. There's that other Jake Rogers autograph for the Tigers. Patrick Sandoval for the Angels. That one, I believe, is also a bookend. Minnesota Twins with Graterol, a David Ortiz relic numbered to 99 for the Red Sox. A Mark McGwire relic for the Cardinals. Signature Series autograph for the Dodgers with Tony Gonsolin. Then we have Willie Adames autograph for the Tampa Bay Rays. A J.D. Davis, numbered to 25, that comes out for the Mets. Bobby Bradley, Cleveland Indians autograph, numbered to 25. An Acuna relic for the Atlanta Braves. An Aaron Judge relic, numbered to 99 for the Yankees. And we got things started with Patrick Sandoval for the Angels, which is the second autograph for him as well. All right, so there's the break and the recap as was promised. We will now take a little look at shipping information again. For those of you who came in late, or maybe you're watching the recap after the fact, here's what you need to know. So, the football jersey break. If you hit one of those autographed football jerseys, it's going to be out the door and on the way to you sometime between now and this time next week. So sometime in the next 7 days. Sometimes it goes early, sometimes late, sometimes on the day, but it won't be any later than a week from today if you hit one of those jerseys. Now, if you were in that jersey break and you were not lucky enough to hit one, you are still entitled to a consolation trading card. That's just a single card for your team or teams. If you had multiple teams, it would be one per team. And it can be from any year and any series. I do keep track of it for a rolling 90-day period. Typically on the free shipping breaks, I would simply send that any consolation cards you might be due, that one or others, the next time you have a package shipping. If, however, you do not want to wait for your next package to ship, all you need to do is send me a message on eBay and let me know, and I will get it on the way to you in a plain white envelope with a stamp. Our paid shipping break tonight, that's the Donruss baseball that we just finished up. It should be out the door and on the way to you by Wednesday. Now, as always, these projected dates are plus or minus a day, as you see there on the spreadsheet. So sometimes the week goes well and things get out early. Sometimes the week has things that don't go as well and it goes out a day later, but I try, of course, to get it out on or before the date any time that I can. We don't need to worry about consolation cards here. We just looked at 80 bazillion trillion cards in Donruss baseball, so all the teams will have a nice little package of cards heading their way. The days ahead, this is what it looks like. We're continuing to take off 2 nights a week at the moment, just stretching out the product that we do have since we don't know when we're next going to get much new other than a couple of little odds and ends. So Saturday and Sunday will both be off nights. On Monday night, it's Leaf Autograph Multisport Jersey, a pair of them. Spots are sold by the first letter of the last name and or the name on the jersey, which is generally the last name. And they are all listed in the football category. We'll also open a case of Inception Baseball. Both of those things for Monday night. It's the last that I have on hand of them. For Tuesday night, we're going to open a Gold Rush autograph full-size football helmet and a half case of Gypsy Queen Baseball, which will be the start of a brand new case. On Wednesday night, it's all memorabilia, a 2020 Leaf autograph baseball bat, three, not a pair, but 3 TriStar TriStar Game Changers autograph baseballs. That is also the last of those. And then we're going to open another 5-box case of TriStar Game Day Greats autograph football jerseys, but this time we'll be switching back to the 2020 version. The 2019 case we did tonight was just an anomaly, a leftover that I found the other day. So that, I guess, has us all wrapped up for tonight. As always, I appreciate you being here very much. I hope that you stay safe and stay healthy and stay indoors. And we'll come back and see me again on Monday night. So until then, take care, have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Bye now.